Hello and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. I'm your host, the whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black Minds News. Black Minds News is to report, articulate, transmit, communicate, insinuate, develop, investigate, unveil, decode, spread the news, whether it's by news, video, website, or quotes from publications. As I articulate this information, I ask that the creator of the universe be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this place that we call the United States, we, the foundational black Americans, the bloodline historical lineage, the historical people known as slaves, we who call ourselves BADOS, others say ADOS, we, today, the children, offspring, and present generation, we give honor to our ancestors. You know what my motto of the show is? I'm never going to tell you what I heard. I'm only going to tell you what I know. Well, I got a couple stories for you today. I'm trying to get back into the swing of my old show. We're closing in on getting back into the function of a live show. So, I decided that today I'm going to give you a 2-for-1. So today's date is August 22nd, 2019. Did you hear the story? One, we're going to go to New York. The other one going to go to Cleveland. One in New York is about, well, you know, Eric Garner's case has been hot. Again, after 5 years later, they decided to go after Daniel Pantaleo, and finally to take his job from him after the whole process of not being able to find him to be liable for the death of Eric Garner. The consolation prize was just to get rid of his job. So, a lot of people's feathers. The commissioner for the NYPD felt like he was forced to do. That was not really what he felt like should have been done. He felt like it was more about politics than it was really about what really took place, even though he himself has said that even the move, the chokehold, was an illegal tactical move, but somehow that should have just been let bygones be bygones, and I will learn from that, even though Eric Garner lost his life. So in the case of the family of Eric Garner, they decided they're going to pursue and try to catch as many of the fish in the net as possible. Well, this particular story here, again, as you've seen the thumbnail, they're telling you that there's no immunity for black people being police officers. Well, they went and found a sister who was a sergeant the day that took place. And I'm going to tell you what the article says in videos, and I'll give you my opinion behind it. Second story is going to Cleveland. Did you hear? Individual was, maybe, I guess he was already in uniform. Seen a little girl let them stop. Decided that, he was feeling some kind of way. Maybe he was feeling irate that morning. And, one thing led to another. Again, I don't want to reveal too much until we get there. But again, this is Black Minds News, the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. And stay tuned as we present these topics. Stay tuned for this broadcast. Hey, how's y'all doing? Once again, this is your host, Mr. Blows Your Minds, coming with another Black Minds News report. Today's date again is August 22nd, 2019. And first and foremost, I want to say what's good to my fam, old and new, my subscribers out there. I want to thank each and every one of you for staying around, participating. I see a lot of y'all been lackadaisical, or they're either too busy to do what you do, or you may not like the topic, or some of you might even left because you was offended. It is what it is, because you know what the motto of the show is. Passerbys, if you should just happen to pass by, this is the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. Reason why we're the most hated show on the black corner of the internet, because we used to get 275,000 views, 50,000, 30,000, you name it, we was getting it. All of a sudden, down in 2019, we was up to 100 views. Now we down to less than 50 views, down to like 30, 20 views. You tell me what's going on, right? Again, we welcome you over here, pass by. So go down the aisle. We always got a grand open to see something you might like. If you see something that makes you feel some kind of way, remember that the motto of the show is the truth. Don't need no partner. Now let's get into today's topics. Again, we're going to start off with, I'm going to go to Cleveland first. How about we go to Cleveland, right? Right, go to Cleveland, right? And let me go ahead and show you this here. Then we'll get right back after that. So take 2 seconds. Matter of fact, I may just give you the sequences all back to back. How about I do that? Let's do this.
Kizzy Adonis would have faced an NYPD trial by the end of this year. Instead, she has entered a guilty plea with the department for failure to supervise the scene 5 years ago, the day that Eric Garner died. In return, Sergeant Adonis will remain on the job, but lose out on 20 vacation days. The deal comes 48 hours after the firing of Officer Daniel Pantaleo. Eric Garner's mother is outraged by the deal. Just yesterday, she was on the Pix 11 Morning News saying Adonis and 4 other officers involved in her son's death should be dismissed from the department immediately. Gwen Carr released a statement a short time ago saying, in part, it's disgraceful that they waited more than 5 years until after Pantaleo was fired to cut her a deal so that all she's facing is losing some vacation days, and they want us to accept these crumbs as if there is some justice. Now, tomorrow, Eric Garner's mother and her supporters will hold a rally on Staten Island. But first, we'll hear from the NYPD Sergeants Union in the morning, saying they will address what really occurred in this extremely sensitive case. Reporting live from the newsroom, Ayana Harry, Pix 11.
NYPD Sergeant in Eric Garner's case pleads guilty to departmental charges. Loses 20 vacation days. You know I'm going to say that again. NYPD Sergeant in Eric Garner case pleads guilty to departmental charges. Loses 20 vacation days. This story is coming out of the Daily News. Story was done August the 21st, 2019. Says a sergeant slapped with departmental charges for her role at the scene of the chokehold death of Eric Garner has pleaded guilty to failure to supervise and will lose 20 vacation days, police sources said Wednesday. Sergeant Kizzy Adonis' supervisor was lacking in certain areas. One source said, though Police Commissioner James O'Neill concluded that nothing about her actions on that day either caused the use of the banned chokehold or delayed the arrival of medical attention for Mr. Gardner. Adonis, 42, faced a departmental trial had she not pleaded guilty. The loss of vacation days means that instead of being off 20 days with the pay, she will have to work those 20 days. Adonis, who joined the New York PD in 2002, will also be on the performance monitoring for 18 months. Police spokeswoman, Assistant Commissioner Devorah Kay, confirmed the case against Adonis was adjudicated. Gwen Carr Garner's mother blasted the plea deal, describing it as a coordinated effort with City Hall to cover up how deep, how wide, and how high the wrongdoings in this case went. I'm not one bit surprised, Carr said, but I am outraged and disgusted about how the de Blasio administration and the NYPD continue to show that they don't care about the murder of my son or Black lives. They want us to accept these crumbs as if there is some justice. Adonis' lawyer, Andrew Quinn did not immediately respond to the request for comment. Sergeant Benevolent Association head Ed Mullins had repeatedly slammed the decision to charge Adonis, noting she made the decision on her own to go on to the scene when she heard about the confrontation between Garner and other officers. By the time she arrived, Mullins said Garner had already been taken to the ground for resisting arrest after he was accused of selling loose, untaxed cigarettes. The Reverend Al Sharpton said the loss of vacation days was akin to no penalty at all, and that it doesn't much matter that Adonis' actions didn't play a role in the chokehold. She certainly did not live up to her oath and certainly did not do what was necessary to show she continued on the force, or should be continued to be on the force. He added, and it certainly doesn't speak to holding accountable those with rank to do their job and to make sure the job doesn't even indirectly affect the safety as well as the protection of the private citizens like Eric Garner. On Monday, O'Neill fired Officer Daniel Pantaleo for using a banned chokehold on Garner, setting in motion the Alma attack that ultimately led to the death of July 17, 2014 on Bay Street in Staten Island.
Hey, good evening.
All right, so I was going to do all of them back to back, but I decided, no, I'm going to go ahead and break them down, right? So we see that looks like the NYPD decided that they're going to do some departmental charges on the sergeant who was supposed to be the supervisor that day, according to the article. And they, again, a slap on the wrist is basically what this is. This is really so much of a slap on the wrist to her. It's more like a spit in the face to the family, right? And so they said she had her role in the death toll. The death of, I mean, I don't know how she was. Yes, she supervised. Was she on the scene? Well, we'll get into all that, right? So they're holding her accountable because of her failure to supervise, right? Again, her name is Kizzy Adonis, right? And said they claim her supervision was lacking in certain areas. So again, they're finding blame. Because, matter of fact, then those who who are avid watchers of what I produce the content and stories of, do you remember the story I did about the 137 shots in Cleveland, right? I mean, the brother and the sister that got gunned up by police because it all initiated because of a car backfiring supposedly downtown Cleveland that chased them all over the damn city, and then all these different areas of police are chasing on one, and then when they finally got them cornered, they all let loose. Remember that? And so nobody was considered to be guilty with 137 bullets, no kind of weaponry found, no narcotics, nothing. All it was is that a police officer heard a backfire and chased down them and killed them, right? No one was trying. Matter of fact, one of the police officers even jumped on top of the hood, shooting up in the damn car, right? After all that bullet, he still jumped up on it and he shot up in the car. Nobody was charged. Nobody was held to accountability. So what they tried to do later on is they did the same thing as they doing here. They went back to the person who was a supervisor. Guess what? She was white. And guess what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened, right? But here, the compromise again, like I say, black folks can't do what white folks do. So again, as the title says, no immunity for you because you're black and a police officer. You don't get no immunity, right? Well, they did find the lowest of the consolation prize, but again, at the expense. See, because again, if the Gardner family is going after trying to get some kind of remedy, which could never be remedy unless you take it from a biblical standpoint, life for life, right? We don't do that anymore. Oh, I guess we never really did that, but again, according to the Bible and the story that it tells about, that's the way they dealt with it, right? And so, to think about that somebody only lose 20 days of vacation in 5 years is equivalent to 4 days a year. And then if you break that down to minutes, you understand? Really? I mean, you might as well not have done anything. And then to say that she's going to work instead of getting the vacation time off or vacation paid time, but you're still working. So, I mean, again, I'm not even trying to even hold this sister accountable for what happened. Because again, according to what it says, that if I'm not mistaken, she, after knowing, right? Now, again, this is something that might have slid through. Because if I'm not mistaken, when I was reading this, it said that she certainly did not live up to her oath. They said her oath that she took, right? Meaning that she sworn to take and uphold and so forth. But if I'm not mistaken, she went down to the scene, right? She went down to the scene when she found out that it was Eric Garner and this individual. She went down there. And before she could get there, everything had already transpired. What made her decide to go down there in the first place? Again, remember I had already told y'all that Eric Garner supposedly had already filed a case previously about him. Again, because again, this whole thing is about loose cigarettes, so we never heard he had any loose cigarettes. Now, they may have been prior, and matter of fact, he had just got out according to what I had read. Right? And so, supposedly he was, cavity searched right there in the public. So, he already was going through the process with the department based on that. So, I'm saying, why did the supervisor was called down there and then all this take place before the supervisor gets down there? Sometimes you watch videos and you see people, having their interactions with police on a traffic stop. And then you hear them say, well, can I have your supervisor down there? Now, it just depended on who it is in the video, right? So the supervisor ended up coming out there, and then that person ended up getting to explain whatever they think they can try to negotiate with. But the supervisor comes out there. Now, more times than not, but it happens, right? So accordingly, she was coming down there. Somebody requested for her to come down there. Now, I don't know if it was Eric Garner or maybe other police officers who was there. Again, a lot of things is not being revealed because, again, it's the mother saying this thing is deep, wide, and it's not just what you're seeing, right? So he said there's about 10 other people there. But based on what they just did here, they gave her the leeway. They said, you better not go through that process. If you go through that damn process, your ass is going to lose your job. So why would you take this here? We're going to take these 20 days. You say you're going to take the vacation. It really ain't shit. You're going to be to work. Don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? But, really, that just go to show you, as Miss Garner, the mother of Eric Garner, said, they don't care about we as black people, and they don't care about black lives. Right? That's something like people get, well, it's black lives. Wait a minute. We talk from our perspective. We ain't talking about what you heard. We telling you what we know. And so just imagine they told y'all something like that. You know, take the vacation days on. Well, vacation days. So that's what that is there, right? So, you know, that's just, it's despicable. It's despicable, man. Very despicable. But the point is, you know, again, I say no immunity, but they found a loophole. If they like you, right? If they like you, they'll find a loophole for you. But primarily when you say immunity, you're talking about somebody who's on exemption, impunity, indemnity, freedom, release, excusal, absolution or abolition. They're part of franchise, exclusion, privilege, prerogative, right, liberty, charter, license, permission, permit, favoritism, special treatment, right? But in this case, maybe she did get some immunity, right? Because again, even the commissioner came out and said she had nothing to do with it. Yeah, but she was a supervisor on the job. Somebody said, well, she was a supervisor. Why would you go there first? But I guess everybody else who was on the scene came, but really didn't have their part other than those that you can eyewitness when you see the video, right? Those who, again, his partner should have been the very first person. The other dude that was with him should have been the very first dude next to Daniel Pantaleo, whoever this other cat is. He should have been the first dude, right? Next to him, right? Because I think it was him originally that accosted him. It was Pantaleo trying to arrest because he was having a confrontation, or we don't say confrontation, he was having the discord with that first dude, the dude with the glasses, right? And he ended up doing all that. So again, I guess that eventually they're going to work and get towards there, because again, that's where it all originates from. But again, I know it's going to be a long, hard battle again 5 years later. I know your family's feeling like, what the fuck, right? What kind of shit is this shit, right? But again, Black Minds News, we covered it. We're going to let it be heard and be known. So it's just a damn shame that they would even print this, right? It's a damn shame that they print this, but it's a damn shame that they would even put that as part of some kind of negotiating deal. I mean, really? I mean, so it's funny how people will sit there and talk about, well, disrespecting police in New York, throwing water on them. But look how you disrespected the damn citizenry. Now, again, we understand. Now, if I was in a job and did something, no, please don't, my job, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to jail. You get it. But again, the circumstances, right? Okay, maybe you find some leeway in that. Like, you know what I'm saying? A mug can shoot up 17 times and only get about 2 years in jail, right? Well, somebody, a civilian, a L7, will get then almost not the max 80% of that, right? So we just saying, I mean, come on, man, look at that, man. I mean, if you're thinking that you're going to build some camaraderie with citizenry based on this here, man, y'all can forget about that, man. That's just putting more holes in the situation. That's just making it where no one's trusting you and nobody ain't trying to really fuck with you if they don't gotta fuck with you. And so we don't condone the fact, but you understand where this is contributing factors to, because of the blatant disrespect for disregarding of Black lives. And again, trying to put the poster of a black face to make it seem like it's not about race. You go and you grab up the supervisor and you throw her up in there, right? Come on, man. So I guess that's a show that the system is working and we're moving to all right. Well, that's just what that is, right? So we're going to move on to the next story here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do this next story and be right back.
Developing news to tell you about now. A Cleveland police officer has been charged with trying to kidnap a 12-year-old girl.
The 34-year-old officer has been suspended, and Channel 3's Amani Abraham joins us with what we're learning right now. Hi, Amani.
Hi, Russ and Sarah. Officer Solomon Niwatia is facing a number of sexual offenses after investigators say he tried to kidnap a 12-year-old girl while she was waiting for the school bus Friday morning in Euclid. Police say the officer was not on duty when he drove by the girl's bus stop with his window rolled down, asking if she needed a ride to school. She refused and he drove away, but she says he came back about a minute later and parked his car. Police say he then exposed himself and urinated on her while apparently filming it all on his cell phone. Euclid police investigated, and that led to charges including attempted kidnapping, child endangering, public indecency, and assault. Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael O'Malley issued a statement saying that, quote, these actions are impossible to comprehend, and that his office will hold the officer accountable and ensure that he never holds the position of police officer again. Cleveland police say the cop was relieved from duty and will remain suspended without pay pending the case's outcome.
The officer was hired by the city of Cleveland back in 2014. Now, our Tiffany Tarpley just spoke with a woman who identified herself as his mother. She was on her way to visit her son.
So I'm going to go support and just pray for him.
Have you spoken with him?
I'm going to go see him.
Oh, you're going to go see him?
The procedures of what to do to go see him.
Okay.
Cleveland cop allegedly filmed himself urinating on a girl at school bus. You know I'm going to say that again. Cleveland cop allegedly filmed himself urinating on a girl at school bus stop. This story is coming out of the New York Post, August the 21st, 2019, and this is how this reads. Cleveland police officer was arrested for allegedly recording himself urinating on a 12-year-old girl while she was awaiting for the school bus, according to a report. Officer Solomon Hiwatawa, 34, drove up to the minor last Friday in Euclid, Ohio, and first tried to kidnap her, asking if she'd like a ride to school, according to Cleveland.com. When the youngster refused, Hiwatawa drove off before returning moments later. He then filmed with a cell phone while relieving himself on the girl, Cuyahoga County prosecutor said. The cop left again, and the little girl's mother eventually called Euclid police, who determined Hiwata was the suspect. He was arrested Tuesday for the Sick Act and hit with a number of charges, including attempt kidnapping, assault, and public indecency, the news site reported. He will be held accountable, Cuyahoga County prosecutor Michael O'Malley said, according to the report. It's my office mission to ensure he never wears the badge of a police officer again. Hiwatawa has been on the force since 2014. He's been suspended without pay pending the conclusion of the case. All right, so that's a hard one, right? So we see Officer named Solomon T. Hiwatawa, 34, supposedly, apparently, according to the account of the article, saying he was off duty, must have been on his way somewhere. See the little girl at the bus stop, according they say she's 12 years old. And ask her, hey, you want to ride? You know, it sound like back in the old day how they do, how they say, stranger danger. Remember that? Hey, little girl, you want to ride? Right? Don't get away from me. My mom's sitting there, right? Oh, okay. So he drive off, right? Circle back around, gets out. according to what the article and the news report says. He filmed himself ejaculating, then urinating on the girl right there, right? Now, he's a police officer, right? I would assume if I was a police officer, and as many times that I have pulled, vehicles over for traffic violations, and you find, I don't know about you, I'm just under the assumption maybe he ain't got nobody, but as many people you pulled over, you get to know their name, you see where they live. I mean, really think about that, boys. They accessible to a lot of information just right then and there. But I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, name, where they live at, kind of car they drive. You can go search their background, legal, criminal, right? And you could be kind of smooth with it if that's your game. If you ain't got no real game, you just you just ticket, but is it Miss or Mrs. Right? Based on that, right? Oh, okay, man. Okay, so if you're willing to go to lunch with me, I'm willing to, that. Now again, in this day, back in the day, it might work because motherfuckers, they want everybody want the snitch nation. You know what I'm saying? Everything snitching, everybody snitching, right? But you might have been able to pull that move. She'd be like, all right, okay, well, because at one time, people, I would assume, I can't say because, I done seen a couple CEOs that was, I be seeing why them CEOs be getting it up in the million life. But anyway, I ain't never seen no cop like that. But again, so as a woman to a man, you might see an individual that might have some kind of appeal and look good in the uniform. They sometimes say, again, what I heard, I don't know about that, but they look good in the uniform. So being a cop, okay, they thinking about, protection and all that good stuff, but they don't understand crazy, deranged, right? They don't understand he crazy, he deranged. And you might go out with him and they may just turn it down, right? Because I didn't heard their stories where, they even been, constantly badgering and stalking, right? But in this case here, we have to say, damn. You know what I'm saying? It's calling me, like a drug, the sex addiction and the craving is calling that, he looking, maybe, maybe also too, to the simple fact that maybe also as police officers, again, if you got that night beat and you run around, you probably even know where the tricks are that be hanging out in the corner. And I'm pretty sure at times, they might trick or two here and there, right? But I'm just assuming that the brother should have been able at least to be able to pull him a honey if he needed one. But no, his urge and his craziness and his derange was to the fact that he seen the girl at the bus stop. It was that, and he couldn't hold it no more. Maybe he thought maybe that turned on. You never know, because again, what people, all these porn sites and stuff that people are watching, you never know what they're doing. So, the craveness, the sexiness, and again, the voluptuousness and the beautifulness that a lot of you ladies out here looking, and a lot of motherfuckers out here just don't know how to approach you. You know what I'm saying? Again, in this social misfit society where people are not really socially inclined to be able to converse, because it's saying if you say something out of pocket, it could be a Me Too moment, and man ain't trying to go through that. So that's kind of been a sexual protection that whoever wants to implement it has done that. But now for some of them out of my school, I don't think we kind of, just have to do it a little bit with soft blood, kitten guns, and walking on eggshells, trying to feel the situation if that's what you're trying to do. But in the case of this here, again, some people have fetishes but we don't condone that, right? So, we see that the video went over to his mama's house. Mama distraught, looking like, pray for the boy. He's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? And, she got to carry that, right? Now, it's public. She known. All people who know her. Last name itself sound kind of African to me. You know what I'm saying? It don't sound like ADOS, BADOS. So I'm not sure whether the mama is saying, I kind of heard, I don't know. But again, I'm just saying. Just saying, right? Because a lot of times, again, as BADOS and ADOS, we normally pick up everything that sometimes people of my skin who ain't our kin, but we get the stigmatization of it. So classifying and making sure people are not there. Because again, we've been holding, carrying a lot for a lot of people, and everybody's get to move like ain't nothing happened. Then they're sitting there talking about your katas and all this shit, right? So, again, you see that the department, again, ain't gonna be no immunity here. It's already said in the wording that this individual who is Mr. O'Malley is like he making sure he never gonna wear this uniform or work in the police department ever again. See, ain't like Pantaleo, stronghold choker mug. He died, and we still don't really agree with the outcome that whatever happened. It should have been just okay. It was spilt milk and it was slap on the wrist and never do it again. But condolences to the Garner family, but he keeps his job and nothing. No, see, but they saying, hell no, we ain't gonna let you get a chance to reload that gun. See, we see it up front. So I guess in a way, you get caught out there, pants down, literally, right? But you get caught with your pants down, they say, we ain't gonna give you a chance to pull them motherfuckers up and put them on again and try that shit again. So based on this all out here, the notification, all this notoriety and everything, this public publicity, and boy, that black corner gonna get in that ass. And again, you being a cop, and cops already got it, but again, it don't have that face again. So you thought maybe, for the simple fact that maybe me being a cop, I might be immune to some shit. That one thing Leslie should have learned was when that brother that was sitting in that car, well, he's Ethiopian, but that brother that was sitting in the car and he shot through the glass and shot that white woman and then could use the same thing that other white officers use, let you know you as a black person cannot do what white folks do. There is no immunity, and you better remember that. So there could have been better ways you could have did this. Again, lucky it didn't go no further. The little girl would have had decided to go into the car, right? So, again, these are the situations, right? These are the things that happen on a daily basis. And, matter of fact, let me go and get you both. I could have been saying that with both of them up there, right? So you got to look at that again. So, no immunity for being black and a police officer. See, you still could be the scapegoat, and you can still get every inch of the letter of the law. Now, in one case, you got no defense. There's no defense. Other than the fact that the girl lying, it didn't happen. But unless you didn't erase it, maybe you erase it on your cell phone and somehow they're going to go back and they're going to retrieve it. But other than that, it's going to be your word, their word. Maybe some eyewitnesses. Maybe, again, all seeing eye caught you from another angle you didn't see. Maybe somebody else. Again, there's a lot of other variables in this. But in your case, that was something that could have been very preventable. This is something that, something that you may have to get some treatment for, right? We'll put it that way. We may need some treatment for that. In the other sense, it's kind of like you became a scapegoat for a situation that they want to show they're doing something. Because again, before I get to your face, it should be somebody else's face. Because again, like I said, if Pantaleo is the one who was actually trying to subdue, but who was the one initiating the conversation that started this whole thing, which was the dude in front of Eric Garner. I think that's what it should have started first, but somehow that ain't where it's going. So we're going to go over here, knowing that we really can't put you on there, but just to make it a formality, that looking like, look, see, we got 20 days of vacation, right? So someone, well, 20 days, that's a lot of time. How much you make an hour? Put that in the money. Ooh, she lost a lot of money. But she can still work and wouldn't make no difference. You understand? So that's just really bullshit. No, that's just really a bullshit. So anyway, y'all, that's just what it is. And you tell me what you think. I give you 2 stories a day. I'm trying to crank it back up because it's almost that time again. And so, brother, that you out there dropping the videos, and you've been stopping lately, but you can see we're getting back into the forum. So it's going to be about that time. So again, Black Minds News want to thank each and every one of you for who came for your participation. And realize that, just because you have some kind of position, president, councilman, policeman, that these titles give you some kind of immunity. No, sir. No, sir. No, it don't. when they need to push that button to put it on the letter of the law to you, it's going to apply. See, they always said back when everybody said there's no law that a white man has to respect when it comes to considering you as a black person. Now, I don't know where it wrote that part about with you. Well, again, this is Black Minds News, the most hated show on the Black Corner Internet. We want to thank you for each one of your participation. Remember, when you see one another, greet your brother, greet your sister. What's good, brother? What's good, sister? Can't do that, at least give it the universal nod. Yeah, you might be with Becky, you might be with Paul. Sometimes you see that you don't, right? But anyway, we gotta stop all this hate, jealousy, envy, and spite and get that shit up out your ass. Because we is all we got. Understand that with the uniform on the team that you're on, and yes, allies are important. Are yours willing to be in the frying pan once the shit starts and get hot in the frying pan? Ask them a simple question. Have you ever heard of John Brown? Is he real to you, or is that a fictional book or a mythology story that you once upon a time y'all just told us? Understand that the time is dawning that again there's some people out here looking for the demise of us. Or is it incumbent that each and one of us begin to always stay vigilant, mindful, cautious, and high spirit? Once again, Black News Report want to say peace, love, and to the next show. To the next show, y'all.